So go to the section 1-5 in your notes packet for chapter 1. Equations and absolute value. So at the top, it says the definition of an absolute value. Okay, so the absolute value of A simply equals A when or if A is already positive or equal to 0. Okay. Now, if the value inside the absolute value is negative, then actually you have to take the opposite of the value inside. So for instance, the absolute value of 5, well, 5 is your A value. It's already positive, so it just stays A. But we all know that the absolute value of -5 becomes +5. So when A is less than 0, we have to take the opposite of the value inside. So we take the opposite of -5 to turn it positive. Okay. Now, I just want to make a distinction between these three cases. 3 squared we know is 9. That's not confusing. But here's where it gets a little tricky sometimes. We have -3 squared and -3 in parentheses squared. This is an order of operations thing. Here we have an exponent, and then we're subtracting something. We have a negative in front of it. So we have to do the exponent. We square that before we tack on the negative. So we get -9. Okay. Here, you're taking what's inside the absolute value, inside the parentheses, and you're multiplying it by itself. This is -3 times -3, which becomes a +9. Okay, so be careful, that's a common mistake. Okay, in this section, we're going to learn about solving equations, regular equations, absolute value equations, with a given domain. Okay, here, when I give you this set, I'm telling you, I want you to solve this equation within a specific domain. And I'll show you what that means. So when we're solving this absolute value equation, 2x minus 5 equals 3, that means what's inside here is already 3. 2x minus 5 is equal to 3. Or if what's in here ends up being negative, we have to switch the sign of it. So we'd have 2x minus 5 also might equal -3. Because if this thing equals -3, the absolute value makes it +3, and that works also. Okay, so now we're going to solve. Add 5 to both sides. 2x equals 8. Divide by 4. X equals 4. And here, add 5 to both sides. 2x equals 2. Divide by 2. X equals 1. Okay? And we're solving in the set of real numbers. Are these real numbers? They are. So they both work. So x can equal 1 or 4. And that's our answer. Okay? Now let's go to this one. X squared equals -9. Now when you have something squared, when you're square rooting both sides, you have to account for what's inside could be positive or negative. Okay? Because we know 3 squared equals 9, or -3 times -3 equals +9. So it could be either. Are these both whole numbers? Aha, they're not both whole numbers. 3 is a whole number, but -3 is not a whole number. We only want the solutions within this indicated domain. So we only want the positive. Okay, let's go to the next one. So this one, we have x minus 1 times 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. We're solving this set of integers. So here we have a product equal to 0. Anytime we have a product equal to 0, we can use the zero product property and say, this is true if x minus 1 is equal to 0. That's 0, it doesn't matter what this is, 0 times anything is 0. But this is also true if this one is 0. If 2x plus 5 is 0, even if that's not 0, 0 times anything will be 0. So we have to solve both. So x equals 1. And we've got 2x equals -5, and x equals -5/2. But we only want the integers, so we can cross this one out. And that's our solution to this problem. Okay. Next problem. We've got 6x plus 11 equals 4x minus 21 in the set of real numbers. Okay, we have to get all the x's to the same side, so I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. I'm going to subtract the 11 from both sides. Divide both sides by 2. And that is in the set of real numbers, so that's our solution. Okay. Now, at the bottom of the page, we've got this problem. And I actually want you to go ahead and try this problem on your own. So pause the video and go ahead and try this one on your own. Okay? Okay, so you've got it. I will solve it now. So we've got 3 minus 2. I know we did one like this before. Distribute that to both of these. So minus 3x minus 12. And distribute that to both of these. Minus 12 plus 3x. And we'll simplify inside the parentheses. We've got these like terms. And the minus 12 and minus 12, those are also like terms. 2x minus 3x is negative 1x. Negative 1x plus 3x is 2x. And we've got minus 24. Now we can distribute 3 minus 2. Let's multiply that out. Negative 2 times 2x is negative 4x. Negative 2 times negative 24 is 48. And we get negative 4x plus 51. 35. All right.